G'day, I'm Patrick from Douglas Fir Design. Welcome to the Router Bits. People have been asking for a video on compression bits for a while, so here you go. If you don't know what a compression bit is, it's a type of spiral cutting router bit. And if you don't know what a spiral bit is, we did a whole video on it. There's a link to it up here. It's called The Magic of Spiral Bits. A lot of that knowledge I'm not going to go over again in this because it'll make the video too long, so go check that out. Ultimately, what a compression bit does is it combines two directions of spiral bits. So they've essentially split the bit in half in the center, and the top or bottom half, whichever way you're looking at it, cuts one direction and the other end cuts the other direction. What that allows the bit to do is actually throw chips towards the center of the bit rather than outwards, which preserves really neat, clean edges on the top edge that you're cutting. So I'll demonstrate how that works, what some of the benefits are, and how you might use these fantastic bits. So I want to super quickly go through a little bit about spiral bits. Just for those of you who have forgotten, this is an upcut spiral bit. When it's trimming along the edge of the timber, it's actually sending the chips upwards or towards the motor body. The advantage of this is it's pulling a really nice, clean, sharp edge off the bottom. The disadvantage is it's tearing fibers up off the top, which can lead to a fuzzy or unclean edge. This is a downcut spiral bit. As it's running over the timber, it's shooting the chips away from the machine, away from the motor, which in this case is downwards. Leaves you a really nice crisp top edge, but can blow out the bottom edge on a piece of ply or veneer like this. So those are their very quick advantages and disadvantages. What a compression bit does is tries to combine those two things. So the upper edge of this compression bit is sending chips downwards, which preserves this really nice top clean edge. The bottom section of this compression bit is actually sending chips back up towards the machine, which is preserving this really nice bottom edge. So what it allows you to do in a trimming situation like this is get really sharp edges on both sides, regardless of the direction of grain, hopefully, especially on end grain, on plywood like this or something with a really fine veneer that might have a tendency to chip and you really want to preserve that sharp edge. These bits do a fantastic job. Now, as you can imagine, if you're sending chips towards each other, you've got to figure out where those chips are going to go. So there are some operations like really deep trenches when one of these bits might be accumulating chips and might cause a buildup of heat or perhaps the machine to be working too quickly. So you just need to be aware of that when you're using these and make sure that you're understanding where the chips are going to go, because you're not going to have the excellent chip ejection properties of a standard upcut bit. You will lose some of that because of the downcut component. I'm going to show you three different applications with these compression bits. The first one I want to look at is really simple. I've got some pretty cheap hardwood marine ply here, and it has a real tendency to tear out horribly along these edges. I have a hard time cutting it with any saw. Anytime the blade comes through here, it's just ripping off those fibers on the end grain. So I'm going to compare a compression bit, a spiral cut, and a straight bit along the edge so I can show you the difference. I'll be doing that in the trimming router. The second application I want to show you is with a standard compression bit, and I'm going to be using that to trim a really nice clean edge along a hardwood coffee table, which is made of ironbark, and it also has a tendency to chip. It's very hard and very dense, so I'll show you how that works. And then the last application is with this compression bit, which also has the bearing, which allows it to be a pattern following bit. I'll be using this in the table, and I'll be pattern following actually a plywood canoe paddle that I'm making from one finished product to a blank, and I'll show you how clean an edge that provides. Now, all of these applications are running along the edge of the timber, which means that chip ejection is not a concern because it has plenty of place to blow out to the side. If you are trying to cut really deep trenches with these compression bits, you just need to be aware that to get the benefits of them, you need the bottom section of that bit that actually is cutting up, you need that to be fully submerged in the cut. If you're going through partially, it's only going to be acting as an upcut bit, which is not going to give you the benefits. You need the upcut section to be below the top surface of the timber so that the downcut section is also engaged with the top surface of the timber. One other really common application for these compression bits, which I'm not going to go into, is actually using them on CNC machines because they provide such fantastic clean cuts on the top and the bottom edge of the stock. So this first test is really simple. I just got a standard straight bit, an upcut spiral bit, and a compression bit, and I ran them across the edge grain on this hardwood plywood. I've just lined them up so you can see the difference. Now the standard straight bit, obviously the face is really clean, but both edges, top and bottom, have a lot of, not tear out, just fuzz, just remaining fuzz from the grain of the timber on that top veneer. The spiral bit has a really clean bottom edge and a very pronounced tear out on the top edge, which is what a standard upcut bit is a little bit prone to do. You've got the choice of one really good edge. Now with the compression bit, made sure that I set the center of that bit in the center of the timber, so the bottom half is using an upcut and the top half is using a downcut component of this bit, and we have a really nice clean face on both edges. The difference here is really clear, and that's where you can see, that's why you'd want to use one of these compression bits, is because there's less cleanup, there's no tear out. It's just going to make the job quicker, especially if you're cutting a number of parts. Now this little compression bit does have a bottom bearing, which means you can use it as a pattern following bit. They do sell them without that as well. This one is obviously only a 1/4 inch shank, and I love using my little trimming router for stuff like this because it's just so easy to use and nice and light. So that's ultimately a really good comparison of these three. I'm going to move on now to using a larger compression bit on some solid hardwood, trimming up the edge of a coffee table. So I use my compression bit to just trim up the edge of this round coffee table. I rough cut the thing out first with the bandsaw. That's generally the way I like to do it. You could use one of these as a plunge cut to actually cut out the circle if you needed to. In really thick hardwood like this, I think it's best just to use them as a trimmer. The results are fantastic. You'd have a hard time finding a more difficult timber in terms of density than old, very aged recycled ironbark. This stuff came out of an old bridge and then it's been ripped down into these planks. Stunning character, stunning timber, but just an absolute pain to work with. So I have just an absolutely razor sharp edge on that top edge, and even when I move along to the sections when I'm essentially climbing up the grain, so the router would have a tendency to lift that grain away from the timber, I've still got a really nice clean face that I will definitely be able to use with just the lightest hand sand. So I haven't had any tear out. This stuff is old splintery timber and it's just done a great job. So I mean, that's the kind of thing that in my shop means the difference between having to repair a piece that the router is blown out a chunk as I'm climbing up this edge, or then actually just being able to use this straight away. So as I've mentioned, with a compression bit, you need to make sure that the upcut piece, the upcut component of the blade and the downcut component of the blade are on the appropriate edge. I've just drawn a little texture mark here showing where the transition is, so you can clearly see the transition needs to be within the center of the face of the timber. If it was outside, then it's only, in this case, acting as a downcut, which is not really what you want for an expensive bit like this. So, position it within the center of the timber, you'll get the most out of this blade, get those really nice clean edges. There's another very similar compression bit sold by Torquata, and the difference is, as I can see that I've drawn on here, the transition is really, really close to the end. And when you might want to use something like that is if you're actually cutting a shallow trench in a piece of timber like this. You still want the advantage of using a compression bit. You want a really nice clean bottom edge of the trench and really nice crisp top edges. But if you were using a bit like this where the transition is higher up from the base, you would not be able to engage both the up and the down component. So for instance, with this bit here, I really couldn't effectively do a trench shallower than about 22 millimeters because otherwise it would only be acting as an upcut. With this bit here, with the transition much closer to the tip, I can actually do a trench probably around 8 millimeters would be the lowest, but it is more versatile for that sort of application. However, for this big chunk and trimming it up, this big beast did exactly what I needed to do. So I'm going to use this larger compression bit in the router table, and I'm going to use it as a pattern following bit. So my lower piece here is my pattern, and then the top piece is my blank, so I'll be cutting into that. Let's give it a shot. So this was my pattern, this was my blank. I stuck them together and used this compression bit to cut two identical pieces, and it did a fantastic job. We've got really crisp, clean edges all the way around, which means no sanding. There's no tear out on this really fine veneered surface. You know, this stuff gets pretty expensive if you're making a lot of pieces out of it, so you want to preserve and not ruin bits of timber that you've purchased. And the compression bit did a great job. So this is available obviously with the bearing on it. There are plenty of them which you can get that don't for different applications, but for something like this, for reproducing parts, especially in plywood or timber that's fiddly and difficult to work with, the compression bit will do a great job. So I hope you found this useful. They are really stunning bits. Obviously, you know, with this much functionality, there's a lot of machining that goes into these. They're more expensive than a standard straight bit, and so they're not going to replace all of the straight bits in your shop. There's plenty of reasons why you would still use a standard straight bit, but for pieces where you really need to make sure that you're not blowing out edges and cutting chips and you're getting those really crisp, clean lines, these compression bits are going to do the job. And for me, in my shop, making pieces that I get paid for with expensive timber, they're worth their weight. You know, it's worth the money that I pay for them because I'm getting good results. I'm not blowing out edges of nice veneers, I'm not blowing out edges of really tough old hardwood either. So Torquata makes a range of these. There's a whole bunch of different sizes. You can pick them up at TimberCon, so you can check out that on their website at timbercon.com.au or in either of their stores.